Welcome. Let's talk about training safely practicing martial arts. There are several points that we will have a look at today. Will be about training safety, about danger versus safety, how to combine danger and effectiveness and the interaction between the two, the interaction between destroying and controlling, and also between realism and safety. And I'm also gonna talk about Carnivazami and neck lock and heel hook and wrist locks, of course, and the thematic of hobbyist versus pro. So I recently posted a video about Carnivazami, and I said that Carnivazami is a relatively safe technique if done correctly. And I got a lot of flack, a lot of feedback for that, a lot of negative feedback, especially from judoka and jiu-jitseros. And it happened a couple times also when I done videos about wrist locks and neck locks. People were like, wow, that's so dangerous. If you do this, people are gonna get injured left and right. It's gonna have flying body parts everywhere and people will virtually die. And they were like, yeah, only bad people do that. I even was called names and such, and wow, I was very surprised at the feedback. And it got me thinking about making this video. Okay, first of all, every technique can be practiced safely. That's it. In my personal opinion, safety should always be the number one priority in training. It's so important. And I earn my money with martial arts, so I'm a professional. I used to be a competitor. Did a lot of competitions. I have over 1,000 official fights. Did some pro MMA fights. I did a world championship in grappling, and so a lot of times when I do high intensity things or things that appear to be dangerous, people tell me, yeah, as a pro you can, but as a hobbyist, you know, I can't afford. And I'm like, it's actually the other way around. If you're a hobbyist, you can injure yourself in training. It doesn't matter. Just don't come back for 3 months. What does it matter? But if you're a pro, if that's your source of income, you cannot injure yourself. It's very important. Okay, if you are an office worker and you tear your ACL, yeah, it might be an annoyance, right? If you live in a country with bad healthcare, it might even cost a lot of money or whatever, be a big hustle. But where I live, if you break your ACL, it just means you're gonna limp and maybe crutches for a couple of months while working in your office. You literally don't lose anything. But to me, it would be catastrophic. It could end the career. It would mean no income for a while. So it's very important that at a high level that you train very, very safely. And so there are ways to achieve that, right? I am fairly certain that Carnivazami, heel hooks, neck locks, wrist locks, they aren't any more dangerous than other techniques. They maybe have a higher injury potential, but it's all about how you do them. I'm in the game long enough to remember when people were outraged about heel hooks and any kind of foot lock, especially from BJJ background. They were like, wow, it's too dangerous. And yeah, in many tournaments where they were allowed, you've seen torn knees left and right because people did not practice them safely. I cannot put emphasis on that enough. People were just trying to do heel hooks the way they do arm bars or kimuras. And arm bars and kimuras, they hurt a lot, you know, before it injures usually, and you have some spare way because something breaks, which is not the case in heel hooks, right? Usually no pain. When it snaps, then you're, oh wow, now it's pain. So you need to practice them very differently, and there's good points being made to not practice those techniques with beginners who lack the experience and the control to practice them safely. So I usually only practice them with advanced guys. Same for Carnivazami and other techniques. And you put all the focus on safety. So I will, even in training, even with advanced, I will not just let them do heel hooks and like just do them. There's a lot of introduction going on on how you hold them, that you need to let them go if the other guy doesn't tap. You don't even try to pull, you just catch and release a lot of times before you go more into doing it more dynamically, let's say. And you also, for uke and for tori, for the one who's being done at and the one doing, you put a lot of emphasis on the safety of how to do it, how to react. If I'm getting caught in a heel hook, I do tap. I do not wait for the pain or for uncomfortableness. I introduce to them how to do them. Recently I've seen a lot of injuries with guard jumps. You know, people are stiff-legged and then a guard jump happens, bam, bad knee injury. It's because they are not being taught proper, practiced proper. Okay, so I need to practice with them dropping. Think about that. People who think Carnivazami is very dangerous, or maybe heel hooks or whatever, they think like seonage or whatever throw is very safe, where you literally throw your opponent head first to the floor. And almost never injuries happen. Because when teaching those throws, you and I and every teacher, we put a high emphasis on doing it safely. So we introduce it, you really need to tuck your chin, you need to roll. We practice it very slowly, because we know, if you throw somebody on the head, it's gonna be very dangerous. So a lot of judo training is falling safely. A lot of jiu-jitsu training is falling safely. And that's how you practice it safely, right? So that brings me to the point of danger and effectiveness, and destroy versus control. I think that is the core principle that makes things safe. Because in traditional martial arts, many people tend to think that danger equals effectiveness and effectiveness equals danger. And that's not the case. That's absolutely not the case. You can train very safely, very effectively. Because either your main focus is to destroy, so you always want to punch as hard, you want to break bones and joints. I heard it many times from traditional martial artists. They're like, we don't wait for the tap, we just break the bones. And they take high pride in it. But it leads to a big problem. And in combat sports, we try to work for control. Even in boxing or kickboxing, we do not aim to really hurt our opponent most of the time. We aim to bring him down, to make him stop, to make him lose, or in grappling to make him tap. And that's very interesting. That's very interesting because that leads to the danger and safety and danger and effectiveness. Because now you need to decide, right? If I train to destroy, like I'll go for your eyes, I'll try to break your bones, that means either I injure a lot of my training partners, that means I cannot practice a lot. Okay, if I go full on your eyes, that means, now you're out for a while, maybe even blind, I need a new training partner. I practice breaking your arm, I break your arm is broken. I can break your other arm, then I have 2 repetitions, that's it, then I need a new training partner. Or I practice it differently than I do it. So either I'm playing fantasy game, I'm feeling like, I do it very quickly, blah, 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 and in a fight I would do something very different, I would do it real. Or I practice very slowly, the exact same movement, but very slowly, and I make the illusion in my mind that I would do it very fast and very explosive in a fight. And so now we know that if we practice for destruction, we can only practice ineffective, not real, only illusion. Okay, we cannot really actually go for breaking your eyes, breaking your fingers in practice, right? So we need to, instead of for destruction, we need to aim for control. And in my way of teaching, that is the core emphasis. Even when I'm punching, I aim to knock you out, but to practice, I need control. The best knockout punch is not necessarily the most savage, hardest, quickest, whatever punch, and I throw like all the time. It's about precision, it's about timing, it's about core, it's about controlling my movement and the movement of my opponent. And that's even much more so in grappling. I do not really profit from doing all my movements like a savage. Like, wow, just rip, wow, wow, go full power all the time and very little control. I need to control my opponent. That means every technique needs to be learned with a high emphasis on absolute control of movement. And that is the holy grail of realistic and effective martial arts training, because if I absolutely put all the focus on control, that means at the same time I increase my chance of the technique working and increase the safety of my training. And I can do that with every technique. I do it with wrist locks, because for a wrist lock, I don't profit from just trying to snap your wrist. If I can do it in training maybe, but in a competition, you're very quick, you're very fast, you have a high pain tolerance. If I just go quick, I'll lose control, you're out. So I need to have control over your elbow and wrist to control it. With the armbar as well, many people go just for quick arm bars, bam, 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 and it makes it very easy to do a hitchhiker escape. I just need to be quick. I just need to rotate my arm quicker than you do an armbar, which is fairly easy most of the times. But if you go for control, that means suddenly you don't need to be quicker than me. You just need to be more controlled. Same with punches. If you try to be most savage, yeah, somebody will be faster and will be harder. But if you aim for control of your movement and your opponent's movement, and that also means that I can practice it safely, right? That's one of the biggest differences between grappling and striking, that I cannot go all out in striking all the time. If I want to keep most of my brain cells, and I always put emphasis on those people who do not want to keep most of their brain cells, they should put a higher emphasis on keeping the ones they have left. So I need to go for control in boxing sparring. I need to go for, yeah, I hit you, pam, 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 pam. And yeah, I need to be happy with that I hit you, not that I put damage to you. And I think the same is in grappling. I can do almost any technique, I just need to go for control. If I would go an armbar without control, there would be broken arms left and right. Wrist lock without control, broken wrists left and right. Seonaga without proper falling, broken necks left and right. Right? Even with neck locks, okay, it looks so dangerous. But if I go for control, it's no more dangerous than other techniques. It just means that those techniques that have a higher probability of failing, and the fail comes at a higher price, that I need to put even more emphasis on safety. Okay? And it's the same in the fight, right? A jab that doesn't have too much risk, I can flick jabs left and right without too much care. But as soon as I go like with a power punch, I need to care more, I need to have more control. And with throws as well, right? There's some smaller throws, yeah, like a ashibarai, whatever. I do ashibarai left and right, pam, 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 to set up bigger throws. And bigger throws, I need to do more controlled. And some of the biggest throws ever is Carnivazami, where I put my whole weight into it. So to do it, I need to be absolutely 100% certain, almost for my life, like as much certain as I want to keep the knee of my training partners. And if I have that much emphasis on safety, I can practice it safely. And I can make a box of techniques that can be done controlled, and they can be trained with a high intensity, a high tempo, high strength, and top focus on control. Did I leave out anything? So that's, in my opinion, how to train safely, and why training safely will lead to the best results in your martial arts way, and will make you the best, the most powerful fighter that you can be ever. Thanks for watching. If you have any kind of feedback or any questions, as always, I'm very happy to answer all of it, and hope to see you next time. Us.